Hi, my lovely YouTube friends, Gypsy here. I have finally got around to filming one of those tutorials for you. So this is the amigurumi butterfly that was requested. So he's quite simple. I would very much recommend him for a beginner. He's quite easy to do. I think the instructions that I've given are pretty good. So he was actually so if I turn him around, you can have a look at his wings there. His double layer wings. He is actually heavily inspired. Well, actually, he's a variation of another pattern here on YouTube. So that is the pattern by Donna Wolf at Nastasia. So I'm going to link that in the description box and also in the comments so you can find it easily. So I'm actually going to send you off to her pattern for the wings, because that's not my pattern, it's hers. So I'm going to send you there to do the wings, and then you can come back here and I will show you how to do the body. This project is an amazing scrap buster. This is one of my favorite scrap busting projects. I just grab bits and pieces, and I will insert a clip of some of the other ones that I've made. For me, I find that with this one, the colors, the brighter the colors, the better. I actually donate these to a local childcare centre and kindergarten in my area, and they absolutely love them when the crochet lady comes and donates their toys. They do let the kids take them home because they know that I come with them regularly. This is one of my favourite ones to make them, and the butterflies are a big hit, especially with the girls there. These are a great, quick, easy make and gift for the young ones around you. So let me know what you think. Leave comments, whatever. If you like this kind of thing, if you want to see more of this kind of thing on my channel, give this video a thumbs up so that I know. If you are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. I do release fairly regular tutorials on my channel. I do have a playlist now of all the tutorials that I've released so far. Still fairly new to YouTube, but I will be releasing patterns, new ones, new free tutorials every month. So keep an eye out for those, and thank you all for coming back and watching, those of you are my loyal subscribers, and let's get into it. Okay, so this amigurumi butterfly pattern is heavily influenced by another pattern tutorial here on YouTube. That pattern is by Donna Wolf from Nastasia, is the channel name. So the wings that I have here, the wings that I've completed here is actually her pattern. So this video is going to be just showing you how to do the body. So I would advise you to make the wings first. So this is what the wings should look like. So I'm going to link her video tutorial. I will link it in the description box, and I will also link it in the comments section, because I know some people do have problems finding the description box. So I will link it in both those places. So go and do the wings first, and then come back here and I will show you how I make the body. Okay, so now we're ready to begin the body. For this project, you will need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle for weaving in your ends, a stitch marker, just so that we don't lose our place. You will need a pair of safety eyes, or you could crochet eyes on if you like, but I like to use safety eyes. So these ones are, I think they're 10mm safety eyes, these ones, but you could use any size that you have or that you like. You will need some fibre film for stuffing, and this one I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook, and I'm just using scrap yarn. So this is the yarn that I'm going to be using. This is just a standard 100% acrylic. It's a DK weight yarn, so I'm using a 3.5mm hook. You could do this in any size you like. I would, if I was doing a worsted weight, I would usually go up to a 4mm hook, but yeah, I would recommend using either a DK or a worsted weight yarn for this project though. So I'm going to be using DK. Okay, so we're going to start, we've got our wings, now we're going to start the project from the head and work our way down. So in order to do that, we're going to make a slip knot. and we're going to create a magic ring or a magic circle. Now you can do that however you know how to do that, but I'm in the habit of doing a cheats way, so I'm going to, if you've seen my videos before, if you've watched my tutorials before, you would have seen me do this, but I'm just going to show you the way I do a magic circle. So I'm just going to chain 2, and then I'm going to work into that first chain that I made, which will become my magic circle. So I'm going to put 6 single crochet into that circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to pull this string here, which is going to tighten that, just as if I had made a proper magic ring or magic circle. It works just the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes this my first stitch, because this is that other extra chain bobble. So we just ignore that, and I'm going to work into my first stitch, which is this one. So this will be the first stitch of the next round. Now for round 2, that's going to be an increase round. So I'm going to work 2 single crochet into each stitch around. So single crochet in that first one, and then a second single crochet in the first one in the same stitch. And so this was our first stitch, so I'm just going to pop a stitch marker in there so that I can remember where that first stitch began, so I don't get lost. So I'm going to do that all the way around, pop 2 single crochet in each stitch, and that's how we do an increase. Okay, so that is the end of round 2. Now we're going to go on to round 3, and so we'll remove our stitch marker and we'll start working up round 3. So the first stitch is a single crochet, so we're still going to be increasing in this round, but we're only going to increase in every second stitch. So the first stitch, a single crochet, and we're going to pop our stitch marker in there. And the next stitch will be our increase. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. There we are. So that brings us to the end of round 3. Now we're going to go on to round 4. So for round 4, we're going to do 2 single crochet and then an increase. So don't forget to put that stitch marker back in. 1, 2, and then the increase. 1, 2, and then the increase. So we're going to continue this all the way around until we get back to that stitch marker on the other side. So I'll meet you back at the end of round 4. Okay, so now we're at the end of round 4. I'm going to go on to round 5. So I'm going to remove that stitch marker again. And this time we are going to be doing 3 single crochet and then the increase. So don't forget to put the stitch marker back in. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then the increase. 1, 2, 3, and then the increase. So we're going to continue this pattern all the way around till we get back to that stitch marker, and I'll meet you back to begin round 6. Okay, so I've gone all the way around to the stitch marker. Now we're going to begin round 6. So as you may have guessed, round 6 is another increase round, and so for this one we're going to be doing 4 single crochet and then the increase. So I'll put that stitch marker back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our increase. And we're going to continue that one all the way around till we get back to our stitch marker. Okay, so this is how we should be looking at this point. And now we're going to go on to round 7. So there's no increasing in round 7. So for round 7, we're just going to do 1 single crochet. Oh, it's a bit difficult to pick up stitch markers with these nails sometimes. So we're going to be doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around with no increases this time. So just single crochet all the way around. Now we're going to be doing this for rounds 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we're going to be doing this single crochet all the way around for 5 rows in total. So I will meet you back at the stitch marker at the end of round 11. Okay, so here's how we should be looking at the end of round 11. So now we're going to start decreasing. So we're going on to round 12 and we're going to do 4 single crochet and then a decrease. So I'll show you how to do that. So first single crochet, two, 3, 4, and now we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together, which is called a decrease. Okay, so you may have seen decreasing before, where you go through the first stitch and pull up a loop, and then in through the second stitch and pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So we're going to do our decrease a little bit differently. We're going to do what's called an invisible decrease. So in order to do that, we go through the first loop. So in order to do that, we're going to do a regular decrease, but instead of going through both of these loops, we're just going to go through the front one, so that when you finished your project, you can't really tell as much where those decreases have been. Sometimes if you're doing amigurumi and your stitches are tight and you do a decrease, just a regular decrease, it looks like there's little holes where you've done those decreases. So to prevent that, we're going to do the invisible decrease. So go through the first front loop and then into the next front loop only. So you should still have those 3 stitches on your hook. It's just that you haven't gone through the back ones as well. Yarn over and pull through both of those loops. Okay, we're going to do another 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do that invisible decrease again. So just through the first front loop into the next, should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and we're going to repeat this pattern with the 4 single crochet and then the invisible decrease all the way around until we get back to the stitch marker on the other side. So I will meet you back here for round 13. Okay, so that is the end of round 12, and we've 4 single crochet decreased all the way around. So now we're going to go on to round 13, and round 13 we're going to do 3 single crochet and then the invisible decrease rather than 4. So we're just 1, 2, 3, invisible decrease, and then again 1, 2, 3, invisible decrease. So we're going to do that one all the way around till we get back to the stitch marker, and I'll be back for round 14. Okay, so now we're ready for round 14, and as you may have guessed, we're just going down to 2 single crochets and then the invisible decrease. So we're going to do that the whole way around. So 1, 2, invisible decrease, 1, 2, invisible decrease, well, there we go, and just continue that on till we get back to the stitch marker for round 15. Okay, so round 15 is going to be our last decrease round for now, and we're just going to do 1 single crochet and then the decrease. So we're just going to alternate between a single crochet and a decrease all the way around. So there's our single crochet, and then our invisible decrease. Your opening is going to start to get quite small at this point. 1 single crochet, invisible decrease, one single crochet, invisible decrease. So it can start to get a little bit tricky to work with because your opening is getting smaller and smaller. So what I like to do, I like to fold it, and I find that a bit easier. So I just push that lip up so I can see which stitches I'm working on, so I don't accidentally work through the back ones as well, because I have done that before and that's not a good thing either. So just bend it and manipulate it in whichever way you need it to, like so. Single crochet, oh, get him out of the way. single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and a decrease. Okay, now at this point I'm going to pull up this loop and I'm going to attach my stitch marker to that loop, because now I'm going to insert the safety eyes and I don't want that to come unraveled whilst I do that. So if we try and pop 2 fingers in there like that, so you can sort of puff him out to see how his head's going. Find that the further apart that I put the eyes, like if I put them close together, they give a completely different look. I prefer them quite far apart. I think that that's the look that I like to go for, but you can put the eyes anywhere that you think. So you're going to get your safety eyes. And so wherever you decide to put that first one, I try and follow it along so that I'm on the same row. I haven't counted the stitches or anything in between because I'm not usually too fussy about them. Usually you can just see. So that's how that will look. And then I'm going to pop the backings on. I've just dropped it in there. Can be difficult. Okay, so push that in. That one's in. Now this one. There we are. Now that our eyes are in, you're going to pull that loop back up because that's where we're up to. That was our last stitch. And we're going to do another row of single crochet. We can tuck this little, that was our first string from our magic loop, so you can tuck that in there. So we're just going to single crochet around. Don't forget to put the stitch marker back in again. So as before, just manipulate. Oh, we don't want to go through the back ones, and we're going to be sewing it shut if we do that, so just be wary that you're just going into the front row. And we've just got 2 more left. That one and this little one. So that's our row of single crochet. Now we're going to increase all the way around. So, okay, that's our first increase. Now this first stitch, we've got 2 in that one, but we need to put our, we've got 2 in that one, but we do need to put our stitch marker into just the first one. And we're going to increase all the way around. And I'll meet you back for the next round and show you what to do next. That was the end of round 17. So now we're going to go on to round 18 now. So round 18 is going to be single crochet all the way around, just 1 single crochet in each stitch. And we're going to do that for the next 5 rows. So for rows 18, 19, 20, 21 and 22 are just going to each be a row of single crochet. So I'm going to begin putting single crochets, one into each stitch, and don't forget at the end of each row to pop that stitch marker back in on the first stitch. And I will meet you back here at the end of round 22. Okay, so now we have reached the end of round 22 and we're going to begin round 23. So for round 23, we are going to do 3 single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then our invisible decrease. Now, yes, we are going to continue this pattern all the way around, but we're actually going to do this pattern for the next 3 rows. So we're going to do this for round 23, 24, and 26. So I will meet you back here at the end of round 26. So just 3 single crochet and then a decrease, and that is our pattern repeat. So for round 26, we're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. My yarn's starting to get a little bit squeaky. If you can hear that squeaking, I'm not sure. Or perhaps you can just hear my neighbour who's just got his nail gun out and has started building a fence next door. Perfect timing. Not really ideal, but don't forget that last one. There we are. So now at this point we're going to pull up this loop. We're going to attach our stitch marker to that loop so we don't lose our position. We don't want any unraveling going on. And at this point we are going to stuff our little butterfly in a cute, so use the crinkling. So we're just gonna fill him up with fluff. So make sure you push it right into the head there. So I like the look of the head being quite a full look, but obviously you don't want to overstuff. So if you can see bits of white through your work, then you've probably stuffed too much. So it's, oh, there's a fibre on there. Oh my goodness. So, and make sure you push. What I do is I get my fingers and I push right into the corners of the head just to make sure he's nice and stuffed. So that's pretty, I'd say that's pretty well stuffed. So now I'm just going to put some more into the body. It's always surprising how much you actually get in there, I think, when I'm stuffing things. So I don't want to stuff it right up to the edge because then it gets hard to finish. And you can always, what I normally do is pop little bits in as I go, as I close him up, which is a bit tricky. It's sort of a skill that you develop the more amigurumi that you do. So So now we've stuffed. Now we're going to do 3 single crochet decrease for 2 rows again. So before we did a 3 single crochet decrease for 3 rows, now we're going to do that for 2 rows. So 1, 2, 3, and an invisible decrease. 1, 2, 3, so we're going to do that for this row and for the next one. Oh, slippery little suckers. So I'm going to continue that for this row and the next one. Okay, so there's our 2 rows of 3 single crochet and a decrease. Now we've got another row of just single crochet, so we don't have many stitches left. We're closing right in. We're just going to add that little bit of length at the end. So to do that, single crochet around. My stitch marker's not closed properly. Hopefully he doesn't pop out. Living dangerously here. And make sure you get every stitch. Sometimes towards the end it can be easy to miss a stitch, so just take your time and go into each and every stitch around. Okay, so now we're going to close him. So if you've got a little bit of room there like I have, this is where I would add some extra stuffing. Whoops, it's a bit noisy. There we go. It's better. Okay, so now we're going to decrease. This is our final row of the body. So we're just going to decrease. Oh, I can put the stitch marker in. I usually just do it by eye, but it's probably a good idea to put this stitch marker in here so we know where that first stitch was. Decrease. And because we're closing up now, it is quite difficult to get into some of these stitches, and they do get a bit tighter. It's also quite difficult to do it on the angle that I'm doing it on so that you can see clearly. I often see other tutorials and I notice people fumbling. Now I know why, because of the angles, the strange angles that you need to crochet on in order for people to see. So there we are. Now what I would do is take that stitch marker out. I'm going to leave a bit of a tail and cut my yarn. I'm going to pull up that loop, pull the tail through like so, and now I'm going to find my needle. These ones are the adjustable ones. This was gifted to me by one of my lovely subscribers, Sandra. So I'm so in love with these. These are available on Amazon. I will actually pop a link. In the comment section to where you can purchase these needles, because these are fantastic. If you do not have one of these already, some of these already, get on it. They're amazing because when you pull it through, it pushes closed, so you don't have to pull so hard on your work. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is just weave through each of these loops just to close it off nicely. So each stitch like so, and then I can sew my tail in. This is, I'm probably very lazy at doing this. I just do it like that. He's not going to come undone. So that's the body done. That's the body. So now we just need to do the antenna and attach the wings, and yeah, so I'll show you how to do the antenna. So for this one we're going to make our magic ring again. So I do mine again with a slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 2, and my magic ring's always worked into that first loop. So we're going to work 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 into that loop. We're going to pull this end tight so that we've got our closed magic circle. So now we're going to increase in each of those 4 stitches around. It just they're a bit fiddly, and I don't even know how well you can see because there's not really much to work with or hold on to. Oh, that's right. I usually just count this because it's difficult to put stitch marker in and out, but for educational purposes we will put the stitch marker in so that we're not getting lost. Okay, increase around, increase, increase. Okay, so we're back to the beginning. Now we're going to single crochet . Now we're going to single crochet around in each stitch, so 1 in each stitch. I'm going to do that for the next 3 rows. So crochet, like I said, fiddly, decrease, and the next one. It's very difficult. I cannot see a thing from where the angle that I'm looking. I can't see a thing. I hope you can. Okay, single crochet in that one, and there's an extra stitch there. You can't do a decrease in that, so we can just do a single crochet in that. Okay, now take that stitch marker out. Now we're going to do 20 single crochet around. So just going to go 1, we're not going to put stitch marker in, we're just going to keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm just going to reach through and grab our little friend hanging out the top there and bring him through. Oh, he's caught. Is he caught on? Oh no, there he is. Okay, pull him nice and tight. So yeah, you can put stuffing in there or you can leave him as is. I used to stuff them, now I tend to just leave them, so that's completely up to you. And so I'm gonna cut this tail off. pull that through, and I can use any one of these tails to attach onto the head. Obviously you're going to have to make two of these. Obviously you're going to have to make two antennae. So do what we just did with the antenna again. I will put a time reference on the screen so that you can see exactly where you need to go back to in the video, and I will meet you, and after you've done that I will show you what our final result is. Okay, so I have just attached my little butterfly antenna, and I have not put any stuffing in these. So as you can see, I really don't think it's necessary to stuff them, but I did stuff them for a while when I first started making them. It's quite difficult to get the stuffing in there. So, I mean, it's completely up to you. So I just think it looks just as cute without the stuffing there. So, or you could even put like a little marble or something in there to get that real definition and crochet around that. That might be an idea. But anyway, so if we flip him over and we go right to the base of the neck, this is where I've pulled, so I've just stolen this string from attaching the antenna and threaded it through the back there. And I'm just going to attach the wings on here now. So just going to sew those on. Just oops. So this is how your final butterfly should look. So you can use all sorts of different colours. I just use whatever I have in scraps. I will put that video of the other ones that I have made at the end so you can have a bit of a look for some inspiration. I don't give him a mouth. You could give him a mouth or embroider a little mouth on there if you like. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, and I think he looks quite cute without it. But yeah, please leave your comments below. Let me know how you go with him. If you enjoy simple free tutorials such as this, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button so I know to do more, and you can come and check out some of my other content as well if you like. I do now have a playlist of my other tutorials, so you might find something else there that's fun to make. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.